Hello students, hope you would have heard my previous reviews on chapter 6 and chapter 7. Now we are going to do the chapter 8. So this also comes under the bracket of laws of motion. So we're going to do a quick review on uniform circular motion. Before I get into this chapter, I would like to tell you a very important thing. Whatever the review you are hearing, if you don't spend time to learn and write that learning, then it is quite useless. So I would urge you to see this review and immediately after that learn the derivation, close the book and write again and see whether you can reproduce fully. If you don't write it, then it is pointless doing any kind of exercise like that. So in circular motion, the main thing that will be stressed again and again is centripetal force. Centripetal force. In order to come into the centripetal force, you should know before itself these three things. These are the prerequisites to get into the part of centripetal force: angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. So what is angular displacement? If you look at a circle, so you start from here and you get into the theta here. So from here to here it is gone as delta S, and there's a radius, so delta S upon R, that is called angular displacement. Angular velocity, it is delta theta upon T, so it is rate of change of angular displacement upon time. Angular acceleration, it is delta omega upon T. So all these things are quite together. Theta, omega, alpha, angular acceleration is alpha. Now when you do this one, you will be also able to see another formula is omega is going to be equal to V is equal to R omega. What is V? It is linear velocity. It is linear velocity. And what is this one? This is angular velocity. What is angular velocity? When you go over a circle like this, what is the velocity? It is angular velocity. So when you go in a straight line, that is linear velocity. And similarly, acceleration is going to be equal to R alpha. What is R alpha? So it is going to be the value of angular acceleration. So these things will be quite important to understand how this one finds out links. And acceleration also equal to R omega square will come. Okay, acceleration is R omega square. This is actually called as centripetal acceleration. Our acceleration is going to be equal to V square by R. Okay, this is called centripetal acceleration. This acceleration, angular acceleration, has lots of other ways to do it. A is equal to R alpha, A is equal to R omega square, and A is equal to V square by R. So this is called centripetal acceleration. So because of the centripetal acceleration, you can find out centripetal force. So what is centripetal force? Centripetal force is going to be equal to M into A is going to be equal to mv square by R. You have this formula mv square by R, and also if you want to write in this pattern, F is going to be equal to M into A, which is going to be equal to mr omega square. You can write this way also, that is force. So centripetal force is so important. How to get the centripetal force? We will be just going through displacement, velocity, acceleration, and then these all the relations will come, and then you will get into the final part of it. That you find here in the book. Uniform circular motion, what is that? And then angular displacement definition, it is written here. Angular velocity definition is coming here, followed by angular velocity and linear velocity, how this one is. So V is equal to R omega, I said this one, this is already there. And then the very important part are called centripetal acceleration. This is very, very important, because it will be dealing with the entire of a derivation also. So centripetal force derivation is important. There's a circle and then it deviates for a small angle and then you go over it. Quite simple. You'll be able to get into the final derivation as A is equal to V square by R. Please learn this one, derive this one properly and see. It's quite an important one. Once you've done that one, then only centripetal force will come. Centripetal force means the acceleration which is involved in a circular motion, that is called centripetal acceleration. Then it is called centripetal force. Okay, So centripetal force, already I said the formula about M into A. So F is equal to mv square by F R, and F is equal to mr omega square. So what is omega? Angular velocity. R, what is R? Radius. What is m? The mass of the body. Then only the application comes. So application is, so many applications are there. Okay, circular motion, all the things. Now this bigger application, because you are dealing with uniform circular motion, the very important application is when we go in a curved road, what will happen? So examples of centripetal force, okay, in daily life, it is all that we in the daily life they have taken only one example, that is when you travel in a curved path, what will happen? There is the main application that you have taken, right? So the main application is, I already said, motion in a curved path. Now there are three parts in this one. So first part is bending of cyclist, that derivation. Next one is motion of car in a curved path. Third part is motion of car in a banked path. There are three derivations. So here also you have seen this one. So when the curved path is there and when a cyclist is coming, so what happens? The cyclist will bend towards one direction. So you would see this one, and then the cyclist is bending towards one direction. This is the thing, and there is theta here. All these things you would have learnt. So the final formula is, what is the maximum velocity? How much maximum velocity can go? Under root of mu into r into g. That is the maximum velocity it can go. So these things you would have already dealt with. Okay, bending of cyclist. Next one is motion of a car in a curved path also. So when you have a car just in a curved path, so what happens? So that also you would have heard about what will happen to the velocity, how the velocity will be, and all these things. Okay. So the last part is, this is the so important derivation which has, so what happens when it's a curved path and where you need to have a banking. So it will have a banking here. So the external part will be banked. So the process of raising the last part of this one, raising it so that it can negotiate a curve very easily. So that is called a curved path. So you can draw a car which is coming. So like this. So this whole thing it is there, right? So please learn these three derivations thoroughly. Very, very important. Bending of cyclist, one derivation. Motion of a car in a curved path without banked, it is not banked. Next one is banked path. Banked path derivation is pretty tough, quite long. It has friction also involved, so it becomes quite hectic. Please learn this thoroughly. It is important, right? And if you look at this book doesn't have that banked path properly. We didn't do the entire derivation from this. I derived from some other book. So please don't follow this book. You may not get into the right direction. I've given already in my lectures, I've given the notes clearly. Please follow that. Then we go to the last part, is called vertical circle, right? So let us see how it is. Centripetal force you learn, the derivation is important. These are all the very important basic things. These are all the basic things. After deriving centripetal motion and then motion in a curved path, there are three parts: bending, motion in a curved path, and car and everything. Last part is very important, is vertical circle. What is vertical circle? So vertical circle is the thing that when you are moving, look at this one. This is the lowermost point, this is the highest point. So what is the velocity should be there here when it has to negotiate? So I followed completely from this book only. This book has a good derivation. Please remember, this book has a better thing. So this is the any part and then we derived this one straight away. We went to the velocity at the highest point, that is called critical velocity. What is the highest point? When it goes to the topmost position, like this, when the bucket is going in the topple down position, what is the velocity should be needed to negotiate it completely? Otherwise it will fall down. So the velocity, minimum velocity needed is under root g into L. What is L? The radius of the circle. Okay. And then we got into two derivations. Velocity at any point and tension at any point. These two are the very important part. So theta is given there. So based on any part of the whole circle, you can say theta is equal to 0 degrees, theta is equal to 90 degrees, theta is equal to 180 degrees. You can put in these two things. So please try to derive this one where V is equal to the velocity at any point, tension at any point. So you get into the final thing about the lowest point, 105GL, highest point, the middle point, 103GL, and highest point is 100GL. So these three things are very important. Please learn this derivation. This derivation doesn't come the whole thing. It is quite a long, big derivation, but it doesn't come the whole thing. They can ask only these three things. Or sometimes they will ask only this till this part, critical velocity. What is critical velocity? How much it is? That's all. Or they may ask only this much. Find out the velocity at any point, tension at any point. Then you need to just solve it this much only. So please remember there are three segments into this. First part, second part, and third part. Any part can come. Separately also it can come. It could be for 3 marks. Then followed by there is also numericals. So you have quite a lot of numericals which is there. Please learn all this. Example numericals, I have dealt already example numericals, some of them. And then exercise numericals. It has quite a lot of exercise numericals. There are 31 numericals are there. Please learn everything. And it's a very, very simple numericals. This is not very tough. Please learn everything. That will be quite easy for you. Alright children, wish you all the best.